Today's double feature, Frugal Home Haircut and what's going on in the Frugal family Suburban homestead vegetable garden. As you know, one of our first tenets of frugal living is anything you can do yourself and not pay somebody else for, well then you do it. Do not waste money going out for a haircut. What would a haircut cost you? What would you pay for a haircut? Not where I would go for the cheapest haircut available.
27 maybe?
You would pay $27 for a man's haircut. And men's hair is so easy to cut because you don't need a straight line. It's just, where do you part your hair? Over here?
No.
Over here?
Yes.
Right in the middle. Do you want a middle part?
No.
Like your
How about if you cut my hair?
favorite person in the world, Lori Partridge? You don't want a middle part.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can you get me to look like her?
You can look just like Lori Partridge.
As compared to Keith?
Alright, this is what Frugal Daddy looks like with a middle part.
Barbershop quartet.
Yes! Now you just need like a little curly mustache. Moustache. Picture it, people. Alright, so while we cut Daddy's hair, we're going to just give you zillions of amazingly valuable frugal tips and tricks and wisdom while we cut hair. The first one is the color yellow. Yellow is welcoming. Houses with a yellow kitchen sell faster than any other color. Yellow flowers outside your house connote welcome. Your first tip of the day is the color yellow. And now it's your turn, dear.
Yellow flowers.
No, you can't have the same tip. Do you want me to pluck the gray hairs?
No, I'd like you to cut my hair.
Oh, okay.
For that $27 that I pay, someone also get my hair washed and a little scalp massage.
Do you want a scalp massage?
Get a little pampering. You get someone who really nice to me. No, not like that. It's very nice. It's soft.
This is how I do it. Do you remember when Ricky thought he was going bald and Lucy got all the treatments to grow hair, and there's that machine she put on Ricky's head to massage his scalp, and it was going way down over his eyebrows? Do you remember that? Do you remember when Lucy
I remember that, but I don't remember that. Like,
well,
that part.
Something to Google. Ricky thinks he's going bald. So anyway, as you were saying, dear, for the $27 we're saving today, plus I think the tip. Was tip on top of that?
Yes.
Okay. Ridiculous. Though absolutely nothing compared to what women will pay for a haircut.
Well, I'd give a $10 tip.
A $10 tip for 20... Oh my God. That's because you had a big crush on your hairdresser. But that's a whole other story.
Doesn't everyone? Yeah, she didn't make me come up with all kinds of suggestions.
She didn't make you talk about frugal tips during your haircut?
Yeah.
All right, here's your biggest frugal tip ever. Stop spending money. Just stop spending. What is it you really need? What are you wasting your money on? Like my Nana always said, don't buy an avocado until you can afford to buy an avocado. Didn't your grandmother say that too?
Yeah, it was more about head cheese.
It's the wisdom of the Amish. Don't buy a fresh head cheese until you can afford a fresh head cheese.
Or a big block of scrapple.
Did you used to make homemade scrapple?
Not homemade. We would buy it from Hermie Zimmerman.
You know, not
Just
that
up the street.
not that I want to eat scrapple or would even recommend that to anybody, unless they're a scrapple lover. But it's one of those food items that speaks to the concept of not letting anything go to waste. Correct? And that's very important. Don't waste food, people. Please don't waste food.
If you see any snails in your front yard while you're getting your hair cut, you can pick them up and cook them for escargot.
That's right. Snails, ferns, dandelions, mushrooms, worms.
Crickets.
Hey, you know, there was a dead fish in the koi pond the other day. Did you cook that up and eat it? If we won the lottery and we had lottery level wealth, would you still dumpster dive?
Yes.
I would too. Absolutely, 100%. I would also, if I had lottery level wealth, I would do a heck of a lot of shopping at Trader Joe's, which is absolutely my happy place. Whole Foods used to be my happy place, but since Amazon bought it, it's like ruined for me. I just can't. I can't. So Trader Joe's, totally my happy place. I'd buy all my groceries there, but I would absolutely still dumpster dive just for the fun of it. And I'd still cut your hair. I still wouldn't let you waste money on a professional haircut. You have to have principles about these things. We are people of principle. Oh, we're at the mullet phase. I love this phase of a haircut. Wait, let me get it short on this side so it's really good and mullety. Do you want to leave it long in the back?
Business up front, party in the back.
I don't know why the topic of the mullet always just cracks me up.
Daryl Hall had the best mullet, didn't he?
They both did, didn't they?
Yeah.
For all of us who grew up without air conditioning, you can survive. Fans work really well. And if you have a fan blowing across over a bowl of ice, that will cool you. That will blow Arctic air right towards you. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
And hey, put your feet in some ice water while you're at it. Why are you shaking your head in that weird way? Are you channeling your mother?
That's to remind you to keep cutting.
Oh. You know how hard it is to sleep when you're really hot? One of my favorite little tricks is to take a quick cold shower or a cold bath. Not ice cold, but cooler than you normally would. Cool your body off before you go to bed, and you feel much more comfortable. And then you go to bed, you're not all sweaty and hot. You're just actually a little bit chilly. And feel free to pop that pillowcase in the freezer before you put it on your pillow, because you know how you want a nice cool pillow next to your skin. I made the best, yummiest little cooling off Frugal treat last night. Autumn and I were sharing it. I put some lemonade with extra pure lemon juice from Dumpster Lemons into the NutriBullet with some ice, and I just blended it up and made this kind of homemade slushy snow cone lemony Italian ice kind of icy thing, part beverage, part icy. Very refreshing, very delicious. It was a nice lemony treat. I think you were already asleep when I was doing this. If you're tempted to go out for ice cream in hot weather for a treat, go to an ice cream parlor, just compare the price of getting a cone with just one scoop of ice cream, or maybe two. Compare the price of that to getting a whole package of ice cream sandwiches from Walmart or Aldi, or getting a whole, you get a 3-gallon tub of ice cream at Aldi, probably for less money than you would pay to get just a single ice cream treat at an ice cream parlor. Nothing wrong with ice cream at home. And don't get tempted. I know it's fun when the ice cream truck comes around with its little music playing and all the kids come running out to get ice cream. Oh my God,
It's
that
hypnotic.
is so expensive. What?
That noise.
It's what?
It's hypnotic.
Now I have a tip for you. This is a little known. Yeah, I know you're shaking your head. Keep cutting, keep cutting. Little known tip. If you live near an IKEA has restaurant in the store. Has a restaurant. And early in the morning, you don't have to buy anything while you're at IKEA, but they have breakfasts for what, $1, right?
Yeah.
We were once at IKEA really early in the morning, and we were going to somehow get a free cup of coffee, so we went over to the restaurant, and we saw that the breakfast is $1, and it wasn't just a piece of toast. It was what was it? It was like eggs and hash browns, or it was a real breakfast for $1. So
Yeah, and it was like $2, and you could have bacon there, or sausage or something.
yeah, and ta-da! It's a good new haircut, Daddy-O. Can you see yourself?
Yeah.
Looking good, Mr. Carter.
I think the word is traumatized.
So well layered in the back and so short. And
It looks it. It's very
it's like
colorful.
a fuzzy
too.
little bear. Okay, I'm going to try to show the whole haircut all the way around. Try to hold still. It's almost like a military cut in the back. Like I did a really good job back there with my new comb technique.
Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, and then here you've got like the I Love Lucy. You know how Lucy has like that little curly fluff thing right on top?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I don't
That's what you've got there. Looks good. And how much did it cost? Free. Freaking free. Thanks for watching, everybody. He's all done. And now for part 2 of our double feature, the vegetable garden. Okay, there it is. There's my vegetable garden. Just remember, it's early in the season, and I'm a little bit behind schedule, so there's not a whole lot going on in there yet. But I will show you, because there is some stuff. There is some. Here I have a really lovely lettuce plant, and I have a few rows of carrots. That's a little carrot top. Here we have some zucchini. And yes, I started all of this from seed. Well, except for these blackberry bushes. I did not start them from seeds, but I have 5 blackberry bushes over here. Next to the vegetable patch is the strawberry patch. So I have a bunch of strawberries over there and some blueberry bushes. But you know how strawberries always shoot off their little babies? So there were a bunch of baby strawberry plants growing out of the cracks in the brick path. So I pulled up those baby strawberry plants. Well, actually some of them were quite big and some have strawberries on them. They were babies last year, really. And I transplanted them here into the vegetable garden. And I pushed the compost pile way back towards the fence line. So a lot of these strawberries are planted in pure, beautiful, rich composted soil. And they're looking a little droopy. I just put them in and watered them, and it's the middle of the day. It's very hot. So hopefully they'll perk up and survive. I mean, they were living in cracks between bricks. So how can they not thrive in beautiful, spacious, composted garden? I don't know. We shall see. So this is the strawberry annex. Let's focus in on this blackberry bush because it's the healthiest one I have. A little hard to see because of the shade, but along the fence line of the garden I planted sugar snap peas and green beans, hoping that the mesh of the fence would be the trellis that they would be able to climb up. And these are all doing pretty well. I put some marigolds out there yesterday because I believe they're supposed to help keep mosquitoes away. I could be completely wrong about that because I really don't necessarily know what I'm doing in the garden. But all along the edge, we've got the beans and the sugar snap peas. Now, I was in the garden weeding all morning, and there in the corner you see this little pile of weeds I picked because I have this new theory about composting in place and just leaving little piles of weeds that I pick in spots in the garden for them to decompose and make beautiful soil right there in the garden rather than composting in a different spot. That's my theory. I also have some kale that I started in this planter that I need to move into the garden. Now, what's most remarkable in the vegetable garden this year are the tomato plants. I didn't plant any of these tomato plants, and there are tons of them, and they're all over. And they grew from the seeds of the tomatoes that dropped off of last summer's tomato plants and just rotted where they dropped in the garden and left their seeds behind. And I guess that's really how nature is supposed to work, isn't it? The plants drop their fruits and the seeds are on the soil and they sprout the plants for the next year. So there are tomatoes all over this garden because I also didn't have enough tomato stakes last year. So the vines just kind of went everywhere. So there are little tomato plants now in parts of the garden, like over here in the carrot area and over here in the zucchini area, nowhere near the tomato part of the garden. There are so many of these little baby tomato plants growing all over. Some still very tiny, some starting to get big and healthy. Some are over here in the tomato area. As they get bigger, I will transplant them into the tomato area because I don't want big tomato plants growing right there with the zucchini. I did pull up a few this morning and transplant them over here because they were growing under a tree. And the cool thing about tomatoes is when you transplant them, you can plant them really, really deep and have the dirt go up the stem quite a ways because they will sprout out more roots and become a much stronger plant. So as I move these little tomato plants into place, they're going to get stronger and heartier. And I did buy tomato seeds this year, so I'm probably going to plant more. Look at these growing up right next to their friends, the zucchini. There's a good shot of some of the carrots all growing in a nice little organized row with a tomato plant right there with them. Now here's a little glimpse of the main part of the strawberry patch. And And we do have strawberries. Nobody's anywhere near ripe yet. Well, frugal friends and much more skilled gardeners than I, thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Stay in touch. Bye-bye. Take care. Enjoy this beautiful day. There's Frugal Daddy with his new haircut. Are you doing your squatting exercises? Yeah.